You know, it is a testament that it's been, I don't know, like 20 years and we're still rocking and it feels fresh. You know, I thank God for this guy, man.
How you doing? My name is John Yip. I am a music producer for the Stereotypes. I'm a trustee for the Recording Academy and also co-CEO for Beachwave Sound.
I'm Ray Romulus. I'm a music producer for the Stereotypes. I am a father, a husband, a son, a brother, and co-owner of Beachwave Sound.
I'm also those things too. Should have said those things. Like, oh well, yeah. I'm from Sacramento, California. Started by really just my passion for hip hop and R&B. Listening to that growing up in the 90s was like the best era of music. A lot of my friends started DJing and they all had money to get equipment. I just didn't. So I just started rapping. So a friend of mine in high school, his dad had equipment. So I went over to his house and we started working on music. I learned how to use the equipment. When I moved out to LA, my wife, who was my girlfriend at the time, was basically like, you gotta choose one. You're gonna either produce or you're gonna rap. And then so I chose producing, and then kind of fast forward, this is where I'm at now.
I first started out playing the drums in church. I was probably like 4 or 5 years old. Went to a predominantly Haitian church in Brooklyn. I thought growing up I was gonna be a drummer and, you know, play for different bands and tour the world until I, you know, realized, man, I fell in love with watching music videos in high school, seeing like Jay-Z and Pharrell and all these amazing artists. I was like, yeah, I want to get into the music industry. So I got an internship at a pretty big record label and worked there for a couple years. And then I got a job at Def Jam where I met this guy. He had a production team called the Stereotypes, but we built a great relationship.
At the time I was working at Interscope Records and I was doing A&R admin, but I was kind of like hustling my beats around the building. One day I went to Sacramento to go to a dentist appointment. I still had my dentist office up there back then, but down the street was Guitar Center. And I was like, hey, you know, I work at Interscope Records, is there any discount? And sure enough, there was actually. And Jeremy, who wasn't even helping me, he was like ear hustling and he was like, hey man, did I hear you work at Interscope? I got beats, can I play them for him? And I was like, yeah. And then he had like a little SIM card to plug into a keyboard and he played me some stuff like right on spot and I was like, damn, like this is crazy. And then we just kind of kept in touch. And then finally there was like one trip where he came to LA and he like spent like a few days and the work that we got done in those few days was like the best stuff that we've ever made. I told Jeremy, I was like, hey, if we're gonna make it, like, you gotta move. And he packed up like 2 weeks later, he moved to LA and we've been working since.
Interestingly enough, is when I got fired from Def Jam was the moment that I was like, yeah, I'm gonna be a producer. I remember calling John and I was like, yo, dude, I just got let go from Def Jam. And he tried to email me, he was like, yo, you're right. It just
You're right, it bounced
back. So yeah, so I called him. John was literally the first person I called when I got laid off. Maybe not the first, I called my mom. Then right after that, I called John. You know, I told him like, dude, if we team up together, I think we could do something big. And he was like, oh, let me check with my wife. Because the reason he had to check with her is because I didn't have nowhere to stay. So I would have to move in.
So he had to move
I had to move in with him. So, you know, he checked with her, she was all good with it. And I think he was getting married that year.
Oh, it was, yeah.
The next month.
Or something.
So I flew out for their wedding and I just never went back home.
I mean, he doesn't live with me now.
No, I don't live with them now, you know.
This was a good...
We're doing okay now,
Yeah.
so I got my own place. A few of the artists that we worked with in the beginning, our breakout hit would be Danity Kane, Damaged. We worked with Justin Bieber.
My World 2.0. Actually, our first placement we ever made was on the Barbershop 2 soundtrack, and it happened to be with Anthony Hamilton. But the real relationship that came from that was two guys that were working with Anthony, and it was Philip Lawrence, who used to sing backup for Anthony, and Philip later introduced us to Bruno Mars. And so as we got a hit, our momentum put us in different rooms. So we would always bring Bruno and Phil. You know, over time, just kind of keeping in touch with him, like congrats on the Super Bowl, like, you know, like stuff like that. We were like, this is crazy. When 24,
Yeah, we were still homies.
Yeah, we were still homies the whole time. When 24 Karat Magic came around, I randomly just hit him. It wasn't even about music or anything. I was just like, hey, how you doing? I just wanted to check in and see how you're doing. And he was like, actually, I'm good. I need something. And he was very specific.
That's what I like was a song that he had, and he was like, man, it's missing something. And he was like, man, it needs that bounce. We just kept playing that thing back, you know, every second, and we knew it was a hit.
So we had a group that was signed to us. They're called Faris Movement.
First Asian American act to ever go #1 on Billboard.
On the Hot 100.
Hot 100.
Yeah, like a G6. So it was a good time for us, and for me personally too, because being Asian, like, it was something that I wanted to personally do myself, but I didn't choose that route as far as being an artist. And so being behind the scenes, it was kind of another full circle moment for me. Anyways, the success of that happened, and some K-pop labels started hitting us up because they were like, how did you guys break these guys? And this is the time where, you know, we let someone else handle our business. Things kind of, you know, didn't work out for us too well, and we learned a nice lesson.
We got robbed.
Yeah, so, you know, yeah. We did.
Yeah.
But so you know, look.
But we learned.
We learned. It was an expensive lesson, and it's okay. And so now we are a little bit in a drought over here. They're loving what we're doing over there. So we're like, let's go over there and let's keep rocking. And then next thing you know, K-pop starts getting big over here, or whatever. But it's like, you know, we were pretty early on in that wave.
Beach Wave Sound is our record label where we're finding, you know, new artists that have crazy superpowers.
We are striving to develop acts and really let them go through this development process to actually sharpen their skill set. I think the way that music is created is being made by a direct correlation of how it's being consumed. And the way it's being consumed right now is like the microwave, right? So songs are a lot shorter now, and attention spans are a lot shorter. And it's also just, I think it's how social media has been taking people's attention and crushing it. Needless to say, what I'm saying is the development process is gone. Technology, the gift and the curse maybe, allows you to do one bar at a time to perfect that guitar, and you don't have to be the best guitar player in the world anymore, which is, I think, a great thing. But it's also, I feel like it's also holding back like the youth in like, well, I don't need to learn guitar. I don't need to learn piano. I'll just download something off of Splice, or I'll figure something like that out, right?
It just feels like artists are not striving to be the biggest or the best. I think they're going for the quick hit. They want to make some money. I think, you know, having the most followers is currency for them now. But I do see that turning around. So there's definitely hope for sure. And, you know, I just want to be a part of that new wave. When we found out we've been nominated for all the Grammys, we were at a studio in Santa Monica at the time. We just got nominated for Producer of the Year as well. It was definitely an emotional...
No, actually, that was the nighttime when the big brother texted me and told me, I don't want to say his name, he texted me and told us to wake up early in the morning and watch the news or watch the nominations.
But the big one for me, when we found out that we were getting nominated for Producer of the Year, that was like one of the biggest moments for me, because I remember calling my mom and everything flashed back for me, because this is what I moved out here for. And it's what, 15 years later from, you know, when I moved, that we got nominated for Producer of the Year.
For me, I guess any kind of like last minute tips or advice I would say is work smarter, not harder.
But still work harder though.
Work hard.
Fucking work hard.
For sure, work hard. But you know, like, I'll take it like myself, for instance, like I'm not the best musician, but I surround myself with great ones.
It is a testament that, you know, it's been, I don't know, like 20 years and we're still, you know, we're still rocking and it feels fresh. You know, I thank God for this guy, man.
Thanks, man.
Yeah?
Same.